finally hit that sweet spot. Your English is solid, really solid. You can chat about work, travel, movies, even argue a bit about politics without completely freezing up. B2 feels comfortable, but then you watch a native speaker casually drop a sarcastic comment, explain a complicated idea with perfect nuance, or tell a funny story that lands just right. And suddenly you feel it, that tiny wall. You're good, but you're not exceptional yet. Today we're tearing that wall down, piece by piece. No fluff. Just the real, advanced stuff that takes you from very good to mind-blowingly natural. Stick around.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Life English Talk. I'm Julia.
And I'm Alex. And yeah, today's deep dive is all about going from strong B2 to sounding truly advanced, almost native-like. We're pulling the best tips straight from advanced learner guides, the kind of practical, no-nonsense advice that actually moves the needle.
Exactly. We're skipping the basics. This is for you if you're already pretty confident, but you want that extra polish. The stuff natives do without thinking. So let's jump right in. Alex, where do we even start when someone's already at B2?
Conversation, hands down. Because at this level, it's not about can you speak, it's about how naturally, how subtly, how human you sound in real, messy, unpredictable talks.
Totally. You've probably nailed the textbook stuff. Ordering food? Done. Small talk? Easy. But real life? People interrupt, change topics, get emotional, throw sarcasm. It's chaos. And that's where advanced speakers shine.
The guides always say the same thing. Practice spontaneous, realistic conversations, not rehearsed scripts, real pressure situations.
Like what? Give us examples.
Job interviews where they suddenly ask something personal or tricky, or heated debates with friends about hot topics, negotiating a deal, or even just casual hangouts where the chat jumps everywhere and you have to keep up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, imagine debating an ethical dilemma with AI. Let's role play it so we can hear the nuance.
Okay, so picture this. Scientists create AI that can predict if someone will commit a serious crime in the future with 90% accuracy. Would you support using this technology to arrest people before they act, even though it means taking away freedom based on probability?
Wow, that's a really contentious issue, Alex. On one hand, if it could genuinely prevent harm, save lives, stop tragedies, that's a powerful argument for it. You could call it a kind of prophylactic justice. But on the other hand, if we start punishing people for crimes they haven't committed yet, we're basically throwing away the principle of innocent until proven guilty. And let's not forget algorithmic bias. These systems are trained on past data, which is often full of human prejudice. So we risk reinforcing inequality on a massive scale. I see both sides. But personally, I'd say the risk to civil liberties is too high unless there are incredibly strict safeguards.
Listeners, did you hear that? She seems to understand both sides of the argument and can express them thoughtfully. That's exactly what we're aiming for, the ability to handle complexity. And it's not just about the ideas themselves, it's about how they're expressed. Using concepts in sentences like contentious issue, prophylactic justice, reinforcing inequality, civil liberties. That's exactly the kind of precise, advanced language we're aiming for.
And in this example, you can see that in my answer, I am not just tossing memorized phrases. I can understand how these sentences work in real conversations, how the structure of my answer helps me navigate those subtle social dynamics and make me sound natural.
Exactly, like you're genuinely thinking and responding in the moment. So, how do we actually get better at this? How do we start using this kind of language in our own conversations?
Well, here's a practical tip. Pose these kinds of questions to yourself, like the ethical dilemma we just discussed, current events, or even everyday social scenarios. Then, listen back and really be critical. Ask yourself, where did I stumble? Could I have expressed myself more clearly or with more nuance? Were there moments I could have slipped in those advanced phrases?
I love that. Let's start now. Listeners, pause here. Imagine you are the one in the debate and try responding to the same ethical dilemma I asked Julia. Try to formulate your own response and speak it out loud. Ready? Go. How did it feel? Try to record yourself next time and listen back. Spot hesitation and where you could sound more nuanced.
Brilliant. Okay, let's move into vocabulary, because this is where a lot of advanced learners get stuck.
Yeah, at this stage, you already have thousands of words. The problem isn't quantity anymore, it's depth.
Totally.
You can't just memorize a definition from a flashcard and think you're done. Native speakers don't think in definitions, they think in context. The situations, the feelings, the people around the word. That's what makes it feel right or wrong.
So instead of learning words in isolation, we need to see them alongside the words they naturally pair with. That's where collocations come in. For example, you wouldn't say powerful coffee, right? It's always strong coffee. Or you would use bitter disappointment, not sour disappointment, even though both describe negative tastes.
And it's the same with bigger phrases. In business or innovation talks, you hear disruptive innovation all the time, or gain a competitive edge, reach market saturation, protect your profit margins. Those combinations just feel automatic to natives because they've heard them together a million times.
One of the best ways to make this stick, and honestly one of my favorite tips, is building what we call word families or thematic clusters. You pick a topic you're genuinely interested in, something you actually talk about or read about often, and you gather a little group of related words and expressions around it.
Think of it like building a small neighborhood in your brain. The words live next door to each other. They show up in the same conversations, the same articles, the same podcasts. When one appears, the others naturally follow. And because they're connected to a real topic, they become much easier to remember and use naturally.
Let's take an example. Say you're into mental health, super relevant these days. You start collecting burnout, emotional exhaustion, building resilience, carrying emotional baggage, developing healthy coping mechanisms, practicing daily self-care, recognizing your triggers, setting boundaries to avoid overwhelm.
Now imagine you're listening to a podcast episode about work-life balance. You hear the host say, "A lot of people are experiencing burnout because they're carrying too much emotional baggage from home into the office, and they haven't developed proper coping mechanisms yet." Suddenly, all those words click together. You don't just know them individually, you feel how they fit in real speech.
And the magic happens when you start using the whole cluster yourself. Maybe in your next journal entry you write, "Lately, I've been feeling some emotional exhaustion at work, so I'm trying to build better resilience by practicing self-care and setting clearer boundaries." Boom. You're not forcing one random word. You're speaking like someone who really understands the topic.
Exactly. And because they're clustered around something meaningful to you, they stop feeling like study words and start feeling like tools you actually need in conversations. That's when your English stops sounding studied and starts sounding lived in.
So try this tonight. Choose one topic you care about. Spend 10 minutes collecting 8 to 10 related expressions from an article or a video. Then tomorrow, use at least 3 of them when you speak or write about that topic. Watch how much more fluent and confident that small family of words makes you feel.
And speaking of fluency, that's the next big piece. Because even when you have the perfect vocabulary cluster, if it doesn't flow out naturally, it still feels a bit stiff.
Exactly. Fluency at this level isn't about speaking faster. It's about sounding effortless. Like the words just roll off your tongue the way they do for natives.
The single most powerful technique here is shadowing. You listen to a native speaker and repeat immediately after them, or even at the same time. You copy not just the words, but the rhythm, the reductions, the little pauses, the emotion in the voice.
It's like vocal training. Your mouth, your tongue, your intonation start to mimic what natives do instinctively. At first, it feels awkward. Your brain and mouth are in tension. But after a few weeks, the patterns become automatic.
YouTube is a great source for shadowing practices. You can find videos for all levels and with quality topics. If not, you could also try the daily podcast from the New York Times for clear, current events English. Or hardcore history if you want long, storytelling style episodes that really push your ear.
Listen to how natives connect everything.
Fluency builds confidence. When you sound smooth, you dare to say more complex things. It's a beautiful cycle.
Reading is another huge booster.
Totally.
At advanced level, passive reading isn't enough. You need active, deep reading from varied sources to feed your brain real, high-quality English. Like mix academic articles, long-form journalism from The Atlantic or New Yorker, opinion pieces in The Economist, modern novels like The Midnight Library by Matt Haig.
Yeah. With active reading, try first to skim for the main idea, then scan for details you care about. While reading, highlight 5 to 10 new or interesting expressions, not just unknown words, but phrases that feel elegant or precise. Look them up in context. See how they're used around them.
Then close the article and summarize each paragraph in your own words, out loud if possible. That forces you to reprocess everything actively. Finally, try explaining the main point to an imaginary friend using the new language you found.
Do this with one solid piece a day. Over time, your brain starts thinking in those sophisticated structures. Your speaking and writing improve without you even noticing.
And cultural fluency. This is what really separates advanced from near native.
Understanding idioms, sarcasm, humor, implied meanings, the stuff textbooks never teach well.
Idioms like bite the bullet, do something difficult but necessary. Read between the lines, understand what's not directly said. Play devil's advocate, argue the opposite side just to test the idea.
Julia, stop beating around the bush. Are we ordering pizza or not?
Okay. Let's bite the bullet and get the spicy one.
See, when you drop them naturally, people relax. You sound like you're part of the group.
Sarcasm, too. Tone matters so much. Ooh, great, another meeting. Or, oh, great, another meeting.
Watch sitcoms, stand-up comedy, late-night shows. Listen for the dry humor, the understatement. British English especially loves understatement. Not bad can mean excellent.
Try using one idiom and add sarcastic tones in your conversations this week.
And finally, create a daily routine to tie everything together. 15 minutes. Read news or article aloud. BBC, Economist. 10 minutes. Build or review one word cluster. Anki or notebook. 20 minutes. Shadowing a podcast episode. 15 minutes. Journal using new clusters and structures. Grammarly plus Hemingway for polish. 15 minutes. Speak live or record a short opinion on a topic.
Consistency over perfection. Small daily wins compound into huge changes. To make it easier, we prepare for you a free PDF guide summarizing everything we discussed in this episode.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Real Life English Talk.
Keep pushing. You're closer to exceptional than you think.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.